Good morning, everyone. My name is Nada Talal from 12G1, and today I'm here to tell you more about the integumentary system. Starting off, the integumentary system is an organ system consisting of the skin, hair, nails, and exocrine glands. The skin is only a few millimeters thick, yet is by far the largest organ in the body. The average person's skin weighs 10 pounds and has a surface area of almost 20 square feet. The integumentary system protects the body's internal living tissues and organs. It also protects against invasion by infectious organisms and also protects the body from dehydration. The integumentary system is made up of 3 layers: the epidermis, the dermis, and the hypodermis. The epidermis is the top layer of the skin and the part of the skin that you can see. Second, the dermis is the second layer of the skin and it's usually much thicker and does a lot for your body. Finally, the hypodermis, which is the bottom layer of the skin. And now we're gonna discuss each layer detailedly. So first of all, starting with the epidermis. The epidermis is the most superficial layer of the skin that covers almost the entire body surface. The epidermis rests upon and protects the deeper and thicker dermis layer of the skin. The epidermis is arranged into 5 distinct layers. First, the stratum corneum, which is the outer layer of your epidermis. It's made up of mostly keratin and lipids. It's well recognized as the barrier that prevents unwanted materials from entering and excessive loss of water from exiting the body. Moving on to the stratum lucidum, which is responsible for the capability of the skin to stretch. It also contains a protein that is responsible for the degeneration of skin cells. This thick layer also lowers the effects of friction on skin, especially in regions like the soles of feet and palms of hands. Third, the stratum granulosum, which is a thin layer of cells in the epidermis. The cells of the stratum granulosum accumulate dense basophilic keratohyalin granules. These granules contain lipids which, along with the desmosomal connections, help to form a waterproof barrier that functions to prevent fluids loss from the body. 4. The stratum spinosum, which is the layer of the epidermis found between the stratum granulosum and the stratum basal. This layer is composed of polyhedral keratinocytes, which are joined together with desmosums. The stratum spinosum is partly responsible for the skin's strength and flexibility. And finally, the stratum basal, which is the deepest epidermal layer and attaches the epidermis to the basal lamina. The cells in the stratum basal bond to the dermis via intertwining collagen fibers, referred to as the basement membrane. And as we can see here in this slide, on the right we can see a more detailed picture of the epidermis layer, which shows all the 5 distinct layers. And on the other side, we can see only the epidermis layer in a brief picture that shows the epidermis layer separately. And this is a picture of my model. And now moving on to the dermis. The dermis is the deep layer of the skin found under the epidermis. The dermis is mostly made of dense irregular connective tissue along with nervous tissue, blood and blood vessels. The dermis is much thicker than the epidermis and gives the skin its strength and elasticity. The dermis is arranged into 5 distinct layers. The erector pili is the first layer, and it's a tiny muscle that attaches to the base of a hair follicle at one end and to dermal tissue on the other end. In order to generate heat when the body is cold, the erector pili muscles contract all at once, causing the hair to stand up straight on the skin. 2. Sebaceous gland, and those are usually attached to hair follicles and release a fatty substance called the sebum into the follicular duct and thence to the surface of the skin. Third, hair follicle, and those are responsible for growing hair, which happens in cycles of 3 distinct phases. These follicles also determine your hair type, and when damaged, the follicles can stop producing hair, and by that, your hair growth cycle can slow down. 4. Blood vessels, and those blood vessels transport oxygen and nutrients to the skin and remove waste products. These vessels also transport vitamin D from the skin to the body. Finally, sweat gland, and the main function of sweat gland is to control the body temperature. So as the water in the sweat evaporates, the surface of the skin cools down. Moving on to finally the hypodermis. So basically, deep to the dermis is a layer of loose connective tissues known as the hypodermis or subcutaneous tissue. The hypodermis serves as the flexible connection between the skin and the underlying muscles and bones, as well as a fat storage area. The areolar connective tissue in the hypodermis contains elastin and collagen fibers loosely arranged to allow the skin to stretch and move independently of its underlying structures. The fatty adipose tissue in the hypodermis stores energy in the form of triglycerides. Adipose also helps to insulate the body by trapping the body heat produced by the underlying muscles. And here, as we can see on the left side, we have a picture of my model of the hypodermis layer. So now I'll be discussing some of the skin diseases or disorders. I won't be discussing many, I'll just discuss 2 of them, eczema and acne. Those are the most common diseases. Eczema is usually a yellow or white scaly patches that flake off, and the affected areas may be red, itchy, or oily. And also hair loss may occur in the areas with the rash. And the other disease, acne, it's commonly located on the face, neck, shoulders, chest, and upper back. And breakouts on the skin are composed of blackheads, whiteheads, pimples, and painful cysts. And it also may leave scars or darken the skin if it was untreated. And now, in order to maintain a healthy skin, the first thing you have to do, and it's the most important, is to protect it from the sun, because a lifetime of sun exposure can cause wrinkles or age spots and other skin problems, as well as increase the risk of skin cancer. The second thing is you should not smoke, because smoking makes your skin look older and contributes to wrinkles. Smoking narrows the tiny blood vessels in the outermost layers of the skin, which decreases the blood flow and makes the skin paler. The third thing is treat your skin gently. Daily cleansing and shaving can take a toll on your skin. 4. Eat a healthy diet. A healthy diet can help you look and feel your best. Eat plenty of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. The association between diet and acne isn't clear, but some research suggests that a diet rich in fish oil or fish oil supplements and low in unhealthy fats and processed or refined carbohydrates might promote younger looking skin. And also drinking plenty of water helps keep your skin hydrated. And one of the last thing is manage stress, because uncontrolled stress can make your skin more sensitive and trigger acne, breakouts, and other skin problems. So to encourage healthy skin and a healthy state of mind, take steps to manage your stress. Get enough sleep, set reasonable limits, scale back your to-do list, and make time to do the things you enjoy. And the results might be more dramatic than you expected. Okay, and this is my final model. And in order to get this model, I use materials such as a perfume container, paint, glue, and clay. So the steps that I use to come up with this model are, first of all, you have to get the materials needed that I mentioned earlier. And then you have to start by painting the perfume box, because as you can see here, my perfume box was black in color and I wanted it to look as the skin color, so I colored it with yellow. And then I shaped the clay into the shapes of the organs inside the integumentary system and the layers. And then I stuck the clay on the books and I labeled it. And that's it. Thank you for watching.